Hey, welcome back to Katie's Corner. Thanks for joining me again. We're going to jump into part 3, Ireland Fun Facts. This will be the third and final video of this series. If you've not heard the other two, go check them out. If you have, I hope you found them interesting and maybe helpful. I hope they help you fall in love with Ireland like we did. And also, as always, it's really helpful if you're able to subscribe to this channel and help share it. That helps me keep being able to do content, and also comment on what you would like to see. All right, let's jump in. Welcome to part 3 of fun facts that we learned in Ireland. So number 1, Kerry's cliffs are better than the cliffs of Moher. Bet. Number 2, when you rent a car or hire a car, as they often say, the insurance coverage may not cover tires. Be sure to read the fine print. Also, tires there is spelled Tyres. So be sure to read the fine print. Like I said, we used a company called My Irish Cousin, and they made everything super easy and provided full coverage, including the tires. Sometimes credit cards, they have insurance. Like I know my Chase Sapphire Reserve card has car insurance. It does not necessarily work in Ireland, so be prepared that you are going to want to get full coverage. It's the only place I've ever driven that I would recommend getting full coverage for sure. Number 3, Irish folks continuously told us that we would see more of Ireland in 16 days than they would ever see in their lifetime. Apparently, they don't often travel far from their home areas in Ireland, and often it's cheaper for them to fly to a whole other country than it is to travel around Ireland. We experienced that all over Ireland, where they said, wow, you're going to see more than we'll ever see. So that was just an interesting fact. Number 4, speaking of driving around Ireland, the Gap of Dunloe is pretty treacherous drive due to the narrow road, the extreme curves, and the hills. At one point, it was preferred that only locals that live in the area, the pedestrians, the bicyclists, and horse and carriage travel the road. It is a beautiful drive, but it was very, I would say, scary at different points. However, it is not restricted, so tourists can go through there, which can be a misconception, and you may run into people who say that you can't. But as of this recording, you are allowed to travel through there. Just be prepared for a slow, fairly stressful drive, and remember, the bigger vehicle always wins. So be prepared to pull off into one of the little pull-off areas or back up to a pull-off area, which when you're going around curves and hills, it's a little bit scary. If you come across a larger vehicle, like we came across a horse and trailer and had to back into a spot so they could go by. Number 5, many castles are mistakenly called castles when in fact they're actually called tower houses. The difference lies in their purpose and their habitation. It's a common misconception. I still get it wrong. So I think if you want to learn more about this, Google it. But that was something that we learned. We were surprised because we had never heard that before. Number 6, land inheritance is a big thing. A lot of land is passed down in the family, and while they may have hundreds of acres, only a little bit of it could be usable or good. One of our buggy drivers has 140 acres of family land, with about 10 acres of that being usable, and that could be because of landscape or different reasons. Number 7, at Blarney Castle, which is a very popular tourist place, they have beautiful gardens. We always just hear about the stone, but they do have these gorgeous gardens. One of the most interesting things about this is they have a garden called the Poison Garden. And as a friend noted, it's like an in-person tutorial for a murder show. Basically, it tells you all these different plants and what is poisonous about them, how to use them or not use them. Very interesting. Number 8, in a lot of gardens, they originally made the paths wide enough for 2 women with their crinolines to walk side by side. So, big dress crinoline, so they could walk side by side. That's how they determined the width of the paths through the gardens. Number 9, eggs are not kept in the cooler section of the grocery store. Not like the US where all the eggs go into the fridge. Unless they're straight from the chicken, farm fresh. Maybe someday I'll share my husband's dislike for farm fresh eggs. Anyhow, thanks for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed this series on Ireland fun facts, things that we learned from locals while we were traveling around Ireland. And I hope you'll join me for future videos. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, help me keep this channel going, and I'll see you soon.